بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين جل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue our study of chapter 11 of 10th section, which is about al-harakatul jawhariyah. And after bringing some arguments for substantial motion or for al-harakatul jawhariyah, now Allama Tabatabai rahmatullah makes few final remarks for this chapter, which are based on what we have discussed. يَتَفَرَّعُ عَلَى مَا تَقَدَّمَ. It's something which follows what has been discussed. The first thing is, he says, when we have something which is moving, which is changing through harakat al-jawhariyah, then we may see there are different surah, different forms. Remember, surah is jawhariyah, surah is one type of jawhar. There are different forms that come one after the other, but there is one common thing under them which is going through these changes. So there is something that you can call madda, okay, which is responsible for taking new actualities, and that madda is the same going through changes. He says, أولا أن الصور الطبيعية المتبدلة صورة بعد صورة على المادة, those forms which relate to tabi'ah, means, like for example, you have soil, then it becomes, for example, a plant, and then becomes an animal, for example. Or, for example, you have wheat and becomes, flour, and then bread, and this and that. So, these forms which change one after the other on madda, which is carrier of this surah, بالحقيقة سورة جوهرية واحدة. Indeed, it is one form which is substantial, sayyala is fluid, tajri ala al-madda. So it's like one thing which has now belonged to this madda and it's moving. Okay? If I want to simplify, just I'm simplifying. It's like you have one rail, okay, for train.
Track.
Yes, track. And you see a train is passing on the same track, okay? And you see different compartments, one after the other. But it is one track and it is one train. But at each point, if you look, maybe in front of you is different compartments. Because we said our mind abstracts categories momentarily, although these moments don't exist as moments. There's one continuous line, but you can at each time look at one point. So, suratun, these surah we change are suratun jawhariyatun wahid. It's indeed one substantial form which is sayyala, fluid, تجري على المادة, which is flowing on مادة. وينتزع من كل حد من حدودها مفهوم مغاير لما ينتزع من غيره. At each point, one concept is abstracted, which is different from next point or previous point. Like you see, different compartments. هذا في تبدل الصور الطبيعية بعضها من بعض. This is when the forms change. Something, for example, is soil, it becomes wheat, it becomes flour, it becomes bread, it becomes then my flesh. So this is one thing which is taking different forms. Sometimes it is not like this. Sometimes it is ishtidadi. For example, we have apple, but its color becomes more and more red, or the taste becomes sweeter and sweeter. هناك حركة اشتدادية جوهرية أخرى. We have also a type of haraka which is ishtidadi, means it is becoming stronger and stronger. It intensifies. Like color, like taste, or like what? Like something which has no life becomes jasmine nami. Jasmine nami is not disappearing. On top of this becomes hassas mutaharrik bil irada. On top of it becomes insan. Insaniya is coming together of few forms, but not as alternative, one on top of the other. Because insan is what? Insan is jism, namiya, hassas, mutaharrik bil irada, natiq. Yeah? So it becomes jism, then takes the form of vegetables or vegetative form, then takes animal form, then takes human form. هي حركة المادة الأولى إلى الطبيعية حيولة مادة أولى, the prime matter which is free from any actuality. It becomes elements like soil and water and so on and so forth. Then becomes nabat, vegetative. Then حيوانية, surah حيواني, animal form. Then insan. It's clear? It's like, for example, there is a train which is moving, and then we put a container above another container. So was one floor becomes two floors, three floors. Yeah? Imagine the train is moving, but also we add on top of it. So there are two types of haraka. Is it clear? 2. Second point. إن الجوهر المتحرك في جوهره متحرك بجميع أعراضه. When a substance is changing in its substance, you have حركة جوهرية, all its accidents also change. Because accidents, أعراض, are completely dependent on jawhar. We said a'raz, according to Mullah Sadra, are indeed shu'unul jawhar. Yeah, they are modes for jawhar. So if harakat jawhariya happens, all the a'raz, all the accidents that belong to that jawhar also are affected. Because the essence, the substance is changing. Substance is changing. إن الجوهر متحرك في جوهره متحرك بجميع أعراضه. It's moving with its all accidents. لما سمعت, because of what you have heard before, من حديث كون وجود الأعراض من مراتب وجود الجوهر الموضوع لها. أعراض are different levels, different modes of the existence of the substance, which is mawzu for a'raz. These a'raz belong to jawhar. If that jawhar is changing substantially, they also all get affected. وَلَازِمُ ذَلِكَ كون حركة الجوهر في المقولات الأربع أو الثلاث من قبيل الحركة في الحركة. Therefore, if something in addition to this has a change in kam or kayf or mata or ayn, we said there are 4 accidental categories in which we have haraka, kam, kayf, mata, ayn, or some people say mata is also like ayn, so 3. So when there is change in those, for example, something is moving from one place to another place, this is extra to the change through harakat al-jawhari. So Mullah Sadwa doesn't want to say this is the same as harakat al-jawhari. This is extra. وَلَازِمُ ذَلِكَ كَوْنُ حَرَكَةِ الْجَوْهَرِ فِي الْمَقُولَاتِ الْأَرْبَعِ أو الثلاث, depending on whether you reduce ayn to water or not. Harakatul jawhar, movement of the substance in these 4 or 3 categories, is min qabil al harakati fil haraka. It's haraka in haraka, it's motion in motion. Because there's a substantial motion. On top of that, you have motion in quantity or quality or location or condition. وعلى هذا ينبغي أن تسمى هذه الحركات الأربع أو الثلاث حركات ثانية. Therefore, it's better to call them secondary motions. وما لمطلق الأعراض من الحركة بتبع الجوهر لا بعرضه حركات. And then the harakat that all accidents have بتبع الجوهر, because of jawhar, not بعرض الجوهر. This is a terminology that I have to explain for you. There is a difference between taba and aras. If I move my hand and with movement of my hand I move an object. For example, I move my book. This book is moving بتبع حركة يدي. Because my hand is moving, this book is also moving. This is called bitaba. But when rain is coming, sometimes there's too much rain. They say jaral mizab. Instead of saying jaral ma, instead of saying water is flowing, they say drainage pipe is flowing. Is it really flowing? No. It's not that water is taking this with itself. It's not betaba ilma. It's be'arad ilma. Means something which was a quality for water, we attributed to something else بالعرض والمجاز, by a kind of tajawuz, a kind of extension in the real meaning. It's a kind of metaphoric use. So you understand? Bitaba or بالعرض. These are 2 different things. For example, if you are an alim, you should learn and become alim like your father, for example. So you become alim because you learn from your father and you become alim. This is called bitaba al-walid. But if you have not learned from your father and you just take big amama and people think you are alim because your father is alim, this is bi'araz al-walid. It's not bitaba al-walid, it's bi'araz al-walid. Do you understand the difference? If it is bitaba, means one receives from the other, but really receives it from it. It's just cause and effect relation, or something which is result of something else. What he wants to say here, Allama Tabatabai, is that if Jawhar is changing, all the a'raz will also change. بِتَبَعِ الْجَوْهَرِ, not بِعَرَزِ الْجَوْهَر. Means they really change because of changing Jawhar. Not that because it is a matter of neighboring, we say they have also changed. So, that harakah which they have through harakah of Jawhar, it's harakat ula, we can call it primary harakah. And then, in addition to that, they can have harakah in kam or kayf or ayn or waz, we can call it secondary harakah on top of that. وَثَالِثًا أَنَّ الْعَالَمَ الْجِسْمَانِ, the corporeal world, the physical world, بِمَادَّتِهِ, this is very important point. This corporeal world, you can analyze it and say there are millions or billions of different subjects, and they have Jawhar and Araz and Madde and Surah. But you can also consider all of it as one thing. I told you before also, وَمَا أَمْرُنَا إِلَّا وَاحِدٌ. Allah has created one thing. This thing, you can go inside and divide it, but it's one. أن العالم الجسماني بمادته الواحدة حقيقة واحدة سيالة. The corporeal world, the physical universe, with its single matter, is a reality which is one, which is fluid, which is moving. بجميع جواهرها وأعراضها قافلة واحدة, as one caravan, as one object which is moving towards what? إلى غاية ثابتة لها الفعلية المحضة. They are going to certain end when they all have complete actuality. At the end, there would be complete actuality. Every potential that they have should become actualized at the end. Harakah would end when there is no potentiality. Everything has become actualized. Okay, Alhamdulillah, this chapter finishes. Now we go to chapter 12, and that is about what is موضوع الحركة الجوهرية and what is فاعل الحركة الجوهرية. What is متحرك and what is محرك in substantial motion. Because we said in every harakah we have 6 points. We have mabda, we have muntaha, we have موضوع الحركة, we have فاعل الحركة, we have masafa and zaman. Now we want to see what is موضوع الحركة or متحرك and what is فاعل الحركة or محرك. The one which is moving and the one which is mover. الفصل الثاني عشر في موضوع الحركة الجوهرية وفاعلها. فاعل means the one who moves. قالوا. He quotes something from Haji Sabzawari rahmatullah alayh in Sharh Manzuma. Okay? Because Haji Sabzawari, as I told you before, made all philosophy, of course, also logic, into poem. Then he himself made commentary on the poem so that students can understand. Then he also made comments on the commentary, footnotes, so that they better understand. So before Allama Tabatabai wrote Bidayat and Nihaya, Sharh Manzuma was for decades textbook. Now some people study, but some people just study Bidayat and Nihaya, and then later they study Aswar. But Sharh Manzuma still is studied as a textbook by some people. But in the past was mostly the main text before aswa. So this is from Sharh Manzumah. إن موضوع هذه الحركة هو المادة المتحصلة بصورة ما من الصور. موضوع, the one which is moving, متحرك, is madda, the matter, but not hayula, which is 100% potential. Madda with some form, because madda is ambiguous. If it is just madda, is nothing. Yeah, لا فعلية لها إلا أنه لا فعلية لها. It has no actuality. So it has to exist with some form. Al-mutahassila, it becomes somehow a specific. It's determined to some extent. بصورة ما من الصور المتعاقبة, with some surah, some form. Surah ma means a certain, we don't know, it doesn't, it can be different things, but at least it has to be with some form. From forms which come right after the other, al-muta'aqiba, muta'aqiba means they come one after the other. Al-muttahidati bil-ittisal was-sayalan. These forms change like compartments of the train, but it is one train. These forms, one comes after the other, but there is ittisal, there is continuity, and it's sayalan, fluidity. So it's one. Because for Ibn Sina to be one thing, it had to be static. You should have something fixed. Something fixed as a subject which is moving. But we say no. Jawhar can be changing, but what enables us to say that this is the same thing is ittisal. It's the same thing, although it's changing.
So, what would be an example of that? Say,
like an embryo.
Molecule of iron, which is in the air, goes into the plant, say, beetroot, and then the human being will be. So the molecule will still be a molecule of iron, but it will be different.
No, that's different. Iron remains iron. But when it becomes part of a reality like certain food, with all other things, it takes a form, like form of an apple. To become an apple is a gradual process. And this does not contradict the fact that there is one thing which is becoming apple. Or there is one thing that is from apple becoming flesh of a human being, for example. No problem. It can be changing, but at the same time we say it's the same because there is continuity. Like for example, nutfah becomes alaqah, alaqah becomes muzgh, muzgh becomes flesh and bone, but it's one person. Al-muttahidat, it's one, bil-ittisal was-sayalan. There is unity here because of continuity and fluidity. فَوَحْدَةُ الْمَادَّةِ وَشَخْصِيَّتُهَا, to be single and to be the same. Shakhsiyya doesn't mean personality. Shakhsiyya here means to be one, tashakhus, to be particular. So unity and particularity of this madde mahfuzatun is preserved besuratin ma. It is preserved by having one form of different forms. So it's not that one form has to remain. So madde is not left alone, but these forms change. Like we have an ill person who cannot do anything, and always one of us remains with that ill person. One comes after the other. but there is always one person in the room. So madda needs form to look after it, to preserve it. But these forms can change continuously. وَإِنْ كَانَتْ مُبْهَمَةً, although that surah is not decided. لكن وحدتها محفوظة بجوهر, or you can say madda is mubham, because madda is also mubham. But unity of it محفوظة بجوهر مفارق هو الفاعل للمادة. Its unity is preserved by a substance which is mufariq, which is abstract, mujarrad, which is fa'il lil-madda, which is creating that matter, which is al-hafidhu laha, which is preserving that madda. وَلِوَحْدَتِهَا وَشَخْصِيَّتِهَا بِصُورَةٍ مَا, also is reason for unity and particularity of this madda with the help of surah. So the one that has created this surah in this madda, that is keeping it and giving it its forms. فَسُورَةٌ مَا, so we have something which is fa'il, giving surah to madda. This surah is called Sharikatul Illatil Fa'iliyah. It's a partner for that fa'il. Because fa'il always needs to keep madda along with the surah. Okay? Without surah, we cannot have madda. So surah is Sharikatul Illatil Fa'iliyah. فَسُورَةٌ مَا شَرِيكَةُ الْعِلَّةِ بِالنِّسْبَةِ إِلَى الْمَادَّةِ. So, Surah Ma, any surah, is partner for the illah when it comes to madda. So not only madda needs its creator, also need a surah. حَافِظَةٌ لِتَحَصُّلِهَا وَوَحْدَتَهَا. That surah keeps the tahassul. Tahassul means to be determined, to be specific. Tahassul is opposite to ibham. To give it a kind of identity, a kind of specificity. Yeah? وَوَحْدَتَهَا, unity. So, فَسُورَةٌ مَا شَرِيكَةُ الْعِلَّةِ لِلْمَادَّةِ وَالْمَادَّةُ الْمُتَحَصِّلَةُ بِهَا هِيَ مَوْزُوعُ الْحَرَكَةِ. That madda which is specified or which is identified with that surah is mawzu'ul haraka, is mutaharrik, the one which is moving. So, according to Haji Sabzawari, according to the philosophers, in harakat al-jawhariyah, that madde is mawzu'ul haraka, but that madde which needs also some surah, not madde alone. A madde which is with some kind of surah. Yeah, because madda without any surah is nothing. Or either you say nothing or you cannot say it cannot exist. وهذا كما أن القائلين بالكون والفساد النافين للحركة الجوهرية قالوا إن فاعل المادة هو صورة ما محفوظة وحدتها بجوهر مفارق يفعلها ويفعل المادة بواسطتها فصورة ما شريكة العلة بالنسبة إلى المادة حافظة لتحصلها ووحدتها. He says, هذا here means خذ, keep this, This is one point that we quoted for you. Another thing that we want to tell you is that those who believe in Kawn Fasad, of course, everyone believes in Kawn Fasad. And Nafina al-Harakat al-Juhari means they only believe Kawn Fasad. You remember we said Taghayyur, change is two. Either is Daf'i or Tadriji. Tadriji is gradual is Harakah. Daf'i is Kawn Fasad. Generation and degeneration. Okay, Kawn Fasad. People like Ibn Sina, they don't believe in Harakat al-Juhari. For them, everything that changes is Kawn Fasad. Or Harakah in not substance. Harakah in A'raz. For substance, only Kawn Fasad. In A'raz, no problem. But in substance, no. Okay? So, in al-Ghailina bil Kawn Fasad, those people who say that we believe in Kawn Fasad, but an-Nafin al-Harakat al-Juhariya. They don't accept Harakat al-Juhariya. They only accept Harakah in what? In Aras. These people also have said, إن فاعل المادة هو سورة ما. They said, what creates madda is one surah, one form, certain surah, certain form. محفوظة وحدتها. Its unity is preserved بجوهر مفارق, by a separate substance. Mufariq always means mujarrad. In philosophy, when you hear mufariq, means mujarrad. So it is its unity is preserved with a kind of, pardon?
By a separate job.
A separate, but separate in the sense of immaterial, abstract, mujarrad. Jawharan mufariqan, so there must be an abstract substance that yaf'aluha, creates it. So, creates surah, that mufariq, also creates madda bivasitataha, creates also madda through surah. So that jawhar mufariq, that mujarrad substance, creates surah and creates madda with the surah. Because surah is sharikatul illatil fa'li. فَسُورَةٌ مَا شَرِيكَةُ الْعِلَّةِ بِالنِّسْبَةِ إِلَى الْمَادَّةِ. So, one surah, any surah, we don't know which one, it can be different things, but anything, anyway, that's partner for illa, because illa needs that as well. It's sharikatul illatil fa'liya for madda. حَافِظَةٌ لِتَحَسُّلِهَا وَوَحْدَتِهَا, which preserve its identity and unity. So, those who don't believe in Harakat al-Juhari, they have accepted that that surah is Sharikatul Illat al-Fa'aliyah. And those who believe in Harakat al-Juhari, they also say the same thing, but the only thing is that they say continuity and fluidity is enough for having one subject. وَالتَّحْقِيقِ. After quoting what others have said, he wants not to say his opinion. At-tahqiq means the opinion after research is this. أن حاجة الحركة إلى موضوع ثابت باق ما دامت الحركة إن كانت لأجل أن تنحفظ به وحدة الحركة ولا تنثلم بطرق الانقسام عليها وعدم اجتماع أجزاء في الوجود فاتصال الحركة في نفسها وكون الانقسام وهميا غير فكيا كافٍ في ذلك. It's a big, long sentence. 3 lines. He says, the right opinion after research is this. If the need of harakah for mawzu, which is sabit, which remains as long as harakah is there, if this need for a fixed mawzu is in order to preserve unity of harakah, and that harakah would not damage by happening of being able to be divided, and the fact that all its parts don't exist together, he says, pardon? He wants to say why you insist on having one mawzu. If you insist on having one mawzu because you think harakah is gradual and it can be divided into different parts, so we don't have one thing, he says, don't worry about this. Because although it can be divided, but it is not divided. It's one thing. This ittisal, like one line. Line can be divided, yanqasim, but it is not right now divided. There is a difference between munqasim and maqsum. Munqasim means accepts to be divided, but maqsum is divided. Yes. Divisible means it's not actually divided. So he says, أن حاجة الحركة إلى موضوع ثابت باق ما دامت الحركة. The need of harakah for a subject, for a mutaharrik, which is fixed, as long as harakah is there. Okay, so you say we need a fixed mawzu. Why? He says, if this need, if your insistence is because of this, إن كانت لأجل أن تنحفظ به وحدة الحركة. If it is because you want to have the unity of motion saved and preserved, and you don't want harakah lose its unity, becomes different harakat because of turawwal inqisam, because it is divisible. Okay? He says, if this is your concern, don't worry. Continuity of harakah is enough. It's not really divided. فَاتِّصَالُ الْحَرَكَةِ فِي نَفْسَهَا. The fact that harakah in itself is continuous. وَكَوْنُ الْإِنْقِسَامِ وَحْمِيًّا. And this divisibility is just in imagination. We imagine that it can be divided. It's not really separated. غَيْرَ فَكِّيًّا. They are not separated from each other. So this is enough. This continuity is enough for us. If you are worried that you may lose unity of harakah, this keeps it one. Because one thing. وَإِنْ كَانَتْ لِأَجْلَ أَنَّهَا مَعْنًى نَاعِتِيًّا يَحْتَاجُ إِلَىٰ أَمْرٍ مَوْجُودٍ لِنَفْسِهِ حَتَّى يُوجَدَ لَهُ وَيَنْعَتَهُ كما أن الأعراض والصور الجوهرية المنطبعة في المادة تحتاج إلى موضوع كذلك توجد له وتنعته فموضوع الحركات العرضية أمر جوهري غيرها. He says, if the reason you insist on haja for mawzu and wahid, for having one subject, if something else, you say harakah is a description, needs something to be described. So we need to have something fixed that we can say harakah is a quality of that. Harakah belongs to that. Harakah happens to that. Harakah is existing in that. If this is your concern, okay. Jawhar is the one that can be described with harakah. In kanat, this haja, kanat means hajat. If this need for having one common subject is because harakah is ma'na na'iti, means a kind of concept which is used to describe. Yeah, harakah happens to something else. Harakah needs something to be called mutaharrik. Yeah, like color. You need something to be white. White cannot exist just without subject. Yeah? Or alim needs someone to be alim. Haraka needs also mutaharrik. So if you want to have one mawzu because you think haraka needs to belong to something, okay, it belongs to something, but that thing is by itself moving. إن كانت means إن كانت الحاجة لأنها لأجل أنها, because that haraka is معنى ناعتي, is a notion, is a meaning which is used as a description to describe, as an adjective, and it needs something which exists in itself, and this then becomes its characteristic, its description, like أعراض والصور الجوهرية المنتبعة في المادة, like accidents that need also subject, or substantial forms which need also subject. So if haraka is like this, فموضوع الحركات الأرضية أمر جوهري. So if that is your concern, we say, okay, no problem. Whenever haraka is in aras, its موضوع is أمر جوهري, is a substance. And if haraka is in jawhar, its موضوع is نفس الحركة, is haraka itself. Why? إذ لا نعني بموضوع الحركة إلا ذاتا تقوم به الحركة وتوجد به الحركة. Because we don't mean by subject of haraka something that haraka is existing for that. الحركة الجوهرية لما كانت ذاتا جوهرية سيالة كانت قائمة بذاتها. In substantial motion, because haraka is in the substance, so it doesn't need something else. It exists for itself. If it was in aras, it existed for jawhar. But if it is in jawhar, it exists by itself. كانت قائمة بذاتها. It depends on itself, and it is existing for itself. فهي حركة ومتحركة في نفسها. So it is at the same time that it is mutaharrik, it is muharrik. Because it is something that is moving, and for itself it is moving, not it is moving because of something else. وإسناد الموضوعية إلى المادة. Haji Sabzawari, for example, and people like him, they said موضوع الحركة is what? Is madda. Allama says موضوع الحركة الجوهرية is haraka itself. But people like Haji Sabzawari, who said موضوع الحركة الجوهرية is madda, he says إسناد الموضوعية إلى المادة التي تجري عليها الصور الجوهرية على نحو الاتصال والسيلان لمكان اتحادها معها, is just because this madda with that haraka are together. There is some kind of unity there. Otherwise, if you want to speak very accurately, Allama says we shouldn't say madda is موضوع الحركة. وإلا فهي في نفسها عارية عن كل فعل. Otherwise, madda in itself is empty from any actuality. Madda is not moving. Madda remains always the same. It is the surah which is changing. If haraka is in substance, so we can say that substance has haraka in itself, and موضوع الحركة is haraka itself, and the one that gives haraka to substance directly is also itself. Of course, something can be on top, but that what is on top creates something which has haraka in its essence, or its substance. Yeah, it's different from having something fixed and then moving it. Sometimes there is a fixed object and I move it. But creator of haraka in jawhar does not move something which is fixed. Rather, create something which is moving. Okay? It's not that, for example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates like a car and then pushes that car.
Self-propelled.
He creates a car which in itself is moving. So far we talked about 5 subjects, 5 aspects of haraka. Mabda, muntaha, mawzu' al-haraka, fa'il al-haraka, masafat al-haraka. We talked about them. Now we have to talk, inshallah, about zaman. But this needs zaman. So inshallah we have to wait. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
Sheikh, does this cover